want.
But you just said something really interesting, and you said, what are the things that you do, that you yourself can come up with, what you see in the mirror when you think about yourself, what are those things? And why do you think it's so hard for some of us to say that? So for example, recently I did an interview with this woman she's a goddess, and she wears these like beautiful crowns, and she goes, you got to flirt with yourself in the mirror, which reminded me of the skit that you were talking about.
Yeah.
And I remember standing in front of her, and I was like, I don't do this. I was like, I don't even want to. And it was so hard for me to come up with like, you're so pretty. You're like, it's so hard for me to say like
those things.
Or anything. Like, it's just like, why is it so like, what kind of, like, if I were to like press a button and go rewind for anybody out there, like, what are things that I could have done and now I can do, because it's never too late, to kind of find the language I can feel proud of? And
Yeah. Well, I mean, they call them the formative years for a reason.
Oh, yes.
Because they do form you. And so during that time, did no one tell you how beautiful you are? Right?
Not
Did no one tell
particularly.
you, your eyes are sparkling? Or when you laugh, my goodness, there are absolute unicorns that come out of your skull. Rainbows, sparkles.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anybody who's interacted with you that has anything but joyful things to describe you. And so when I hear the goddess say, flirt with yourself in the mirror, and you're like, oh, I don't know how to do that. I think of, okay, but what do you know how to do? Like, if that's the goal, then how do you get there? And you get there by leaning into the things that you already know how to do. And so, do you know how to smile at yourself in the mirror and like feel okay about that? Well, that's where you start. Or do you know that when you put on, for me it's my gold hoops, my ode to Sade. I love Sade. She's my spirit guide. I love her so much. But when I put on these hoops, I feel good. And I don't care what anyone else thinks of them. I feel good. So when I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh yeah.
Okay, well, you Brooklyn is in the house for real here. That's all I say.